Okay, proud of our team today. That's a step in the right direction. That's what we needed to come on the road after a loss and do. And it wasn't perfect. There's a lot of things we're gonna have to clean up, particularly in the first half. But I thought our guys did a great job of playing in control during that game, and different units stepped up when you needed them to. And that was big, and that led to a big win. And just proud of our guys, proud of the effort there. And now we just got to put that one behind us and move forward.
How significant is it in your mind your two biggest wins come on the heels of the loss?
Yeah, that's the next step for this team, and I told the team last night, I saw how you responded to the Bears loss, what you did in Pittsburgh, and we're going to need that again, and so again, we needed to put, there was some bittersweetness early in this week with that loss, the way we did, and we were anxious to get this one underway, to be able to put that behind us, and so just proud of the way the guys handled the week. They were focused. We took the short trip last night. Guys were focused, dialed in. You just had to sense in pregame warm-ups that this was the kind of game our guys were going to play, and they did.
Offensively, what was different potentially in the second half versus the first half?
Oh, penalties. I mean, how frustrating is it after that first drive to have some of the penalties that we had that really set us back? I think on that second, third drive there, we felt like we had some great opportunities. We just kept going backwards. And again, that's just something we got to continue to overcome. I was proud of the way we started. We got to stop on defense, and then the offense went down there and scored 7. That's a good step. And what I'm particularly proud of this team is just that middle 8 there at the end of the second quarter and the beginning of the third quarter. I mean, that was critical for our defense to get a stop, get the ball back to the offense, go down, score 3, and then get the ball to start the half and score 7 there was a big deal for us.
How much you got the game ball?
Turnovers win games, man. So Logan and Von Bell, they had that big turnover off of our turnover, and that was key because if this is kind of what Detroit has done is they lived on those turnovers and those mistakes the other team's offense has made, and that could have been a 7-7 game right away, and this whole game is totally different. So for those guys to come up with that was a big deal for us.
Exactly. The fourth down conversion and Jamar's block at the end.
Yeah.
Talk about the execution on that play.
Yeah, well executed by everybody. It's just a bunch of motions, really, and the people that need to execute were Joe and Joe. And really, Jamar was the second man in the progression if we were to ever get to that. And it's kind of funny because on a separate play earlier in the week, we told Jamar we're going to need an assist from him. We anticipated somebody else scoring, and we're going to need you to assist. And it was different than how we thought it would unfold, but Jamar shows up and gets that big block that Joe can play off of. And so that's complementary football, and it's these receivers, there's a lot made of them because we got talented receivers, and a lot's going to be made of their big play production, their catches and their dances and all that stuff, but they're selfless. They're very selfless, and they care about their teammates, and I could tell Jamar just in his eyes how excited he was for Joe Mixon to score that touchdown there, and that's going to take us a long ways when we have guys that are like that. Yeah. Yep.
How impressed were you with the way he stepped in?
Yeah. Big time. I mean, his carries weren't. I just looked at the production. The protection doesn't look crazy, but when you get a saw dog versus a pressure, that's usually where some of those sacks have come for us early in the season. You catch some pressures on some of our play action stuff, and there was just Joe did a great job stepping up. Everyone did a great job protecting the edges. Must have been the tight end on the other side did a great job also. But again, Chris just stepping up and covering up the nickel and giving Joe a chance to step up there. And then Jamar, I'm not sure where the safety ended up, but Jamar just ran by somebody and had a great catch.
You know, breakout game today.
Who's that? Yeah, it's not a breakout game for us. This is what you all have been in practice have seen from him all training camp is running a double move like that and creating that separation. That's a tough matchup for other teams. And so for him to finish that play was a big deal. And then for him to step up and get some carries because he had not had a carry all year, and other than the preseason games. And that's different. The preseason games are different when the bright lights are on and you're on TV and you're playing against a real NFL team in a real game, and it's different. So I thought he did a nice job. We'll have to see exactly how he did, but he did a nice job. And then Travion Williams stepping up, at elevation because of COVID and getting some carries and running hard and putting that game on ice for us. So that was good to see from the running back room today.
Unfortunately, how key was it to keep Goff under 5 yards of completion and just keep everything in front of you?
Yeah, it's a big deal. We harped on stopping the run game, and I think they had 30-something yards rushing. And so for us, it started there. They got great backs. They got a great tight end. We needed to make them as one-dimensional as possible. And so I think he had 40-something attempts, and the yards per attempt must have been really low. And that's key from our defense. So, again, we maybe gave up some stuff underneath, but those guys were rallying and making the tackles and putting them in some tough spots. And really, really proud of the way that our defense – I know how mad they were when they gave up that field goal at the very end of the game, the first-team defense I'm talking about. But that's the standard we want to play with. And they did what we asked them to do, and that was a great showing from our entire defense.
Zach, overall, felt like a pretty complete game from the offense. Was this a pretty good picture of what you expect out of this offense today?
I got to disagree with you, Jeremy, because I was so mad in the first half. Just some of the execution stuff that we needed to score more points early. So I appreciate you praising us that way, but I got to disagree because I went to halftime just with a bad taste in my mouth, just ending there with 10 points. And we need to start faster. We need more production in the first half. We need to be able to get the 3-score lead going into halftime and then come out guns a-blaze in the second half. So I do agree. Those last possessions we had, we scored points on every possession in the second half, I think. That's the standard that we need to have for our offense.
Zach, what does it say about y'all as a team that you were having that inconsistency in the first half, and yet y'all were able to go out and basically dominate a team?
Well, that's NFL football. When you just sit back and you watch games, it's across the league. No one plays the perfect game typically. And so, but again, it's frustrating because we work hard for it. Our players have high expectations for themselves and coaches as well. And so again, there's always going to be things to correct. That's no different than most games we play. But again, happy about how our team finished. That's critical for us. Ooh. I'll get you to next.
Go ahead. How's Jackson?
I think he just looked. I'm not sure. I shouldn't say. We all saw what happened on the field, so we'll just see where he's at after the game.
It's a bit repetitive, but another deep ball to Jamar right before halftime seemed to be the spark. What has he done to change what you guys are offensively now that you're in a 6-game sample?
It is an element that you can't scheme. It's just what it is. He's just out there, and he can produce like that, and T can produce like that, so we've got a lot of weapons, and they make plays when their number's called, and Joe's got a lot of confidence in them. And again, he had the 2 big plays down the field. I don't know how far the second one was, but that's just I know what goes through a defensive coordinator's mind when you got that kind of speed and that playmaking ability down the field, and it causes a lot of problems.
Get a little bit ahead of schedule maybe in your mind, and what are you seeing that is pleasantly surprised you over 6 games?
Pleasantly surprised, but expected. We expected our defense to play well and play as a unit. And so maybe for the chemistry to have taken shape this quickly is what we hoped for, but it's impossible to predict. And that's been good to see. I didn't have any schedule. My schedule was for us to be 6-0 or however many games we played, and so we're not. So again, as long as we just keep improving, keep making progressions, and we got a big divisional game coming up. That's where we've struggled these last 2 years, and so we're looking forward to Sunday.
You guys they responded on
I'll get you.
down. Sorry.
Go ahead. No, go ahead. I'll get you.
2 fourth down stops seem to be also big momentum turners.
Yeah.
You talk about those, and why your defense seems to come so big time after time on 4th down.
Yeah, because it starts with our interior there in some of those shorter situations. We got great D tackles. We got really physical defensive ends. Our backers know where to be. Our safeties can hit you, and our corners aren't afraid to tackle. And so when you get in those critical, tight situations, we got 11 guys that are not afraid to come up and hit you. They're all very disciplined in what we're asking them to do, and that leads to some big short yardage production, whether it's 3rd and short or 4th and short. Go ahead, Jeff.
The sequence on the 4th when you wanted coming up before the Mixon play, it looked like you were kind of going to, like you made up your mind at some point, maybe you were going to go for it on 4th down, given the third down play. Just wonder what your thinking was, and maybe why you were fast, and just kind of keep going.
Yeah, well, we got a peek at the front before I think we called timeout there maybe. We called timeout. That was a different one. Anyway, we just felt good about that play call. So we had the 2 short yardage plays I'm thinking of. We felt good about the play call there, and could sense that they were in man coverage when they broke the huddle, those corners, and so that we knew we were going to have a good play as long as we could just get on the edge, and Joe got out there clean, which he did.
One more question. Zach, is this where you're watching the team be at this point in your career? Is this kind of what you expected 2 years ago?
We just need to be competing to win this division and improving each week because it's a long 17-week season. So again, we don't have these record expectations. It's just about how our team is moving along and progressing. And that is what I care about, and we care about, we want to win games, but it's process driven, not necessarily always results driven. So of course, some things aren't going to go our way sometimes on some game plan things we have and some situational things, but as long as coaches, we continue to learn from that and our players become educated on that, then I feel good about the direction we're heading, which again, we should all feel good today, but we'll clean everything up tomorrow and get ready for Baltimore.
All right, thanks, Zach.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
That was fun. That was a lot of fun.
What was the last week like, going to the hospital, rehabbing your throat, what was that process?
I was pretty. I didn't want to go to the hospital. It took a while, and I just wanted to go home. But I didn't really think I needed to. But I followed instructions. But it's still a little bit sore. But we powered through it today. So another week of rest will do good for us.
We didn't get a chance to talk to you after last week's game, but the hit that you took where you were down for a little bit, can you just walk us through what happened? And was there, a feeling in your head at all that you were like, oh no, this could be bad?
No, I thought I was closer to the first down line than I actually was, so I Superman dived, tried to get it, but I just need to be smarter in those situations about protecting myself. I think I did a good job today of doing that, running out of bounds, sliding when I could. So that's just me growing as a player.
How much of that led you throughout the week? Or how did you have to manage that so you could play today throughout the week?
Sorry, Ben, I couldn't hear that first part.
I said, how did the throat issue impact you throughout the week, and how did you manage it so you could do what you needed to do today?
Oh, yeah, so it didn't really, we didn't do any voice cadence at all during practice. And so we were able to get all the reps in we needed to. It was, it was sore all week, but that's it. So I was able to get all the work that I needed to get in. And then today, we went on voice all day. Didn't go on silent at all. So we powered through it today. We're just another week of rest will do it good.
Joe, what about the two big passes in this game? One to Jamar right before halftime, touch off the field goal, and of course your fourth down pass to Joe Mixon. Take us through those two.
Yeah, Jamar just keeps making plays in those situations. That's, the fourth game now that he's made a big catch in 2 minutes right before half that's gotten us points. He's just going to keep making those plays. That's the kind of guy he is. And then, we really schemed that fourth down up to Joe Mixon. That was a great play call by Zach that, we were ready for all week.
Zach said he wasn't surprised by this result, the focus you guys had coming off the Green Bay loss. Did you kind of sense this too, that it was a driven team coming into this game?
Yeah, we were excited to get out there. We really made some mistakes in the first half that limited our ability to move the ball. We had some big plays called back by some penalties. So that was frustrating. It was a frustrating first half, but the defense, they just keep doing their thing every single game. They're led by a great guy in Lou that really gets them to know their scheme every single week. And when we have a defense like that, we're going to be in every single game.
Zach said he was mad after the first half, given penalties and stuff like that over there. Was that the difference in the second half, or what else was different offensively?
Yeah, we just executed better. We stopped having, we had a few mental errors in the first half that are uncharacteristic of some guys. And, the second half, we really executed well up front and executed all of our plays well. We didn't have any mental errors and no penalties that called back. We had 3 penalties in the first half that called back, 2 first downs and a big play. And, it's tough to move the ball when you're in, second and 15, second and 18. So we got to eliminate that, but, overall it was a good day.
Joe, what do you think it's about this team to show up where we were struggling the first half, and end up where we power through and have to be pretty and end up the result that you did?
Really we just keep fighting through that. We got to figure out a way to, score more points in the first half. We had a great first possession, went out and went right down the field and scored, and I thought it was going to be a fun first half. Didn't turn out that way, but Jamar just keeps being that spark for us. He keeps finding his opportunities when he gets one-on-one to win down the field, and when we have a guy like that, and when we have the connection that we have, you can't fall asleep on defense when you have that guy.
The pass came right before half. Was that the original call, or did you audible that when the safety walked down?
No, that was the original call. We were just going to take a shot. They'd been playing cover 2, cover 6 the whole first half, and really, you got to give credit to them. They were doing a good job keeping the ball in front of them, not, giving up the big plays, and then, really stopping the run in their cover 6 and cover 2. That's really the weakness of the defense in those 2 coverages is, running the football, and we weren't able to do that, and you got to give credit to them. They were, playing really well, but, we just stuck to our game plan and started executing better, and, then we started rolling.
Did you decide that, they were playing that cover
I was really hoping that they did what they did, and they, brought a pressure, and we got it picked up front. We made some good calls, and I knew I had one-on-one. I knew right where I was going, so that was a big. I do give credit to their defensive coordinator. He had some really good pressures called for third down, and then he had pressures off of those pressures, so we really weren't able to lock in up front and get tendencies on what they were doing. So you got to, they had a good plan. They played well.
Joe, what does it do for this offense when you have running backs and tight ends that are a threat to score as receivers as they were today, and obviously if you are too, what does that do when a team does their game plan for running backs and tight ends that can score?
I want to mention Chris Evans. He's just getting better and better every single week. You see what he can do in the pass game. He got one-on-one and, really, really ran a great route and scored a touchdown for us. And then, on the big throw to Jamar in the second half, he picked up a safety pressure off the edge that was, really unbelievable. He's getting better and better each week, and he's just going to keep getting more reps when he plays like that.
Joe, how good can this offense be, this team be really, if you guys execute like you did in the second half? You talked about the defense, but how good can this team really be if you play like you did in the second half?
The sky's the limit. If we, eliminate some of those things that happened in the first half, we, probably score 50 points today. But, it's the NFL. I'm never going to be upset about a 34-point game and you're winning by as much as we did. But, we do have to get some things corrected, and when we do that, it's going to be scary.
There was news that broke before the game about Edward Ron not going to return next year. You have to take it going obviously on your own.
Yeah, that was, I didn't know that they announced it. Sorry. That's disappointing to me because he's really a man that, gave me an opportunity when nobody else really was. I wouldn't be here without Coach O, and, I'm forever indebted to him as a person and as a player, and, our relationship will continue for the rest of our lives. I love the man. I love the coach. They haven't been winning as many games as I know they would like, but we did just win a national championship 2 years ago, so that's disappointing. I love Coach O and everyone over there, so I hope he's able to find a place where he feels like he's welcomed.
Joe, you're going to tell us you're going to take this game and enjoy it today, but you get a chance to play for first place in the division next week against a really good Ravens defense. What are your thoughts on that matchup?
It's an exciting game. Baltimore is obviously a great team. I don't know the score today, but they got after us last year and the year before that, and so I'm excited to play that one. They're gonna, they're Baltimore. They're gonna be ready to play us, so I'm excited about it. We'll have a good game plan. Just get back to work.
Did you ever see Chase throw a block like that?
No, I haven't. And
He do a lot of things.
I told him after that that's not a lot of top 5 pick receivers do that. And that's the kind of guy that he is. He's going to keep making plays like that. I mean, that's an unbelievable play. You got Joe in the end zone. Not a lot of guys want to make that play, and he does.
All right, thanks, Joe.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Joe.
My voice kind of like Joe's too, so.
Celebrating?
Nah, it's just been a little minute, me running.
Can you run through your touchdown, Joe, in the call? What did you think of the call when it came in? Was that the call when it came in?
No, so I just remember, I think it was TV. He went to the right, and then after that, came back to the left, and the DB ran with him. And I'm like, oh, yeah, this is going to be a big one. After that, I ended up, they called height, went out to the flat, and I seen Jamar. And I keep telling everybody, that's his touchdown. That wasn't mine. He made a hell of a block, threw somebody to the ground, and I just finished it. Then we just turned up in the zone.
Chris Evans had a big performance today. You obviously spent a lot of time with him. Were you shocked at all at what he was able to do, and what do you like most about him in his game?
I'm not not really shocked about anybody on my team making plays, but at the end of the day, when his time was called, he did what he was supposed to do, go in there and make a play. And, by me being the older guy in the room, veteran, I was definitely proud of how he came out and performed.
What was this week like with Burrow on voice rest, and just how much did you even notice it?
Say that again?
What was this week like with Burrow on voice rest, and how much did you even notice it?
We definitely noticed it because he's just whispering in the mic or when he was in the huddle. So I was just like, okay, we know it's going to be probably loud over there, and they probably getting us ready. Then all of a sudden I heard that he really couldn't talk. So I'm like, oh, he really can't talk. So I'm like, hopefully, we don't be like that all week. But, it definitely got us prepared for when we played here in the Dome because the beginning of the game, it was definitely kind of difficult hearing the plays.
How much did it help that the crowd can be too loud because they were up so much?
If you could quiet the crowd like that, it helps a lot because you could get all the calls and, everybody can communicate how we should and how we can execute. So, I thought it was pretty good.
His voice was normal though today, right? His voice was normal today.
It was better than it has been all week. Like I said, I don't know exactly, what y'all trying to get from that, but, I'm used to hearing his voice like that, so it was good.
What does it say about this team that Jamar, number 5 overall pick, is out blocking, throwing guys to the ground, hitting those blocks in front of you? You know what I mean about what he means to this team, making plays like that?
Yeah, no, he's a huge part of our offense, and he's been taking the top off. He could take a slant to the crib. He could do whatever we pretty much want him to do. And another factor, he could block, so it makes my job easier, and it helps out in the run game because when he taking the top off of defenses, they got to respect that. They got to back up. And I know they tried him a few times, and when they tried him, you see what happened. So, he thrives in those opportunities, but that's what makes him a great player. I know he's young, but he don't play like a rookie. If you look at Jerry Rice, that's what made him great. He could catch the ball, take a slant to the house, and then, what made him great was when teammates running with the ball, he running with them too, lead blocking. So I see him with them traits, and I was proud of how he performed today.
Joe, I know in January, you tweeted out something about drafting Jamar. Was this your vision way back then?
Yeah. I just knew what he could definitely mean to our team. All we needed was one more receiver to really, I think, take this thing, make it sky's the limit for us. Because, we got me back there, you got Joe Burrow throwing the ball, and then you also got T and Tyler out there, and then we also got receivers to complement them guys on the outside. So I definitely thought it was great pickup for him, or for us, and everything that we saw from him in college, that's what we're getting from him today. So it's a great pickup.
You guys been getting adjustments in the running game at halftime?
Just a little bit. In the first half, really, if you just pay attention, we was very close. It's just probably one man away from popping those runs. And in the second half, we got it all adjusted. And, everybody finishing their blocks, people on the perimeter blocking. And they was making my job easy. I find the hole and finish my run. So that's pretty much all, it was to it.
Seemed like you were cutting back against the rain there.
Well, what it was is them guys were overflowing. I was trying to hit it front side, and they was respecting it, and then trying to get them 2 and 3 yards, 4 yards, and grinding it out. And then, as you see in the third and fourth quarter, them runs started hitting, and they wasn't playing it honest, and that's what happens. And just keep on seeing things like that, and that vision gonna be there. So just got to make the most of them runs.
All right, thanks, Joe.
Yep.
Mark, you're up next.
Thanks, Joe.
That was as good a block that you've ever made in the game.
Yeah, it probably was my best block so far, yeah.
What's the 53-yard catch of the block?
I'll say the block just because it gave effort. You see a lot of effort on that play. Joe Mixon probably was like maybe 7 or 10 yards ahead of me, and I seen him. It was only one person ahead of him, so just wanted to making it easier for him to score by just making an easy block.
Did you guys know you were going to run that play this week? Is that a block you thought you might have?
No, I actually didn't think I was going to have to block like that, but we did. have that play in a game plan for exactly fourth down. So it ended up working perfectly.
Is the chemistry you have with Joe as good as it's ever been right now?
No, could definitely get better. I missed a couple of his calls today that I felt like I didn't hear. Well, I know I didn't hear, but I should have heard. But it's just capitalizing with and me getting back in the playbook a little more.
Are you surprised at all how you just continue to be left open to make explosive plays down the field? Because from our vantage point, it seems like it's coming and nobody seems to be able to stop it.
Yeah. They didn't really leave me open too many times. They definitely didn't play a lot of man a lot. They was in zone a lot. I want to say they clouded my side majority of the time. The times that they didn't, me and Joe capitalized on it. But the rest of the time they played a nice zone, sat back, and let us try to get everything underneath them.
The play at the end of the half, they were playing front two. Front two. How do you get it in? How did you guys make that work?
Yeah, so it was a split play, split route. I just gave the defender a hezzy step at the top of my route. That would cause him to slow down, and then after that I just sped up and ended up being wide open. The safety was looking back in the backfield at Joe. He wasn't too worried about what I was doing, and got it down the field.
Stuck between the safety.
Yeah.
When the Bengals got you set some really big goals. Like, are you living up to your personal expectations that you set in April?
I feel like I am. Of course, there's more work to do. Always more work to do, but I'm just trying to, make it to the playoffs as our first goal, and then succeed from there.
Is a win in your mind, or is there some significance to the fact that coming off of a loss, you guys have had your two most dominating games, so kind of put the losses behind?
Win is a win. I feel like all you could do with a win is just go back and look at the tape, learn from it, learn from your mistakes, and leave where it's at.
When a teammate like Joe Mixon compares you to Jerry Rice, and you know all about Jerry Rice, I'm sure, what does that mean to you?
It just means he believes in my abilities. He sees something in me, and he expects a lot from me. So that means if he's expecting a lot, I'm pretty sure everyone is expecting a lot themselves. But we gotta step on. Well, I gotta step on people's necks, and we all have to step on people's necks when we have to. I think we did a good job of that today.
One thing that Jerry Rice was always complimented for is he did more than just catch the ball. He blocked downfield like you did today. He did a lot of the little things.
Mhm.
Is that something you pride yourself on?
Like what, blocking?
No, little things. Details.
Yeah, definitely details. That's what NFL games come down to, very small details, actually. That's why they have 1,000 analysts for each team. But, if I can do it all, then that just opens up for everyone, you know what I'm saying? And Joe Mixon gets more touches, TB gets more touches, T. Higgins get more touches. The offense is prolific at that point.
What were you thinking in the last minute of the first half? Were you thinking, I'm going to do it again? What were you thinking in the last minute? Did you say anything to Joe?
Right before the half, we just ended up calling one of our normal plays, and we seen a one high, and Joe just threw it up to me. The DB, the corner, just bailed. I tried to find his blind spot and just attack it and get in front of him. Joe threw a good ball.
It's cover two, right?
No, I don't think it was cover two, actually. I think it was three. The safety was dead in the middle of the field, and it was just one-on-one with me and the cornerback. I'm pretty sure the safety tried to cheat my way, but I think it was three.
Burrow's been a little quieter this week. Did you notice any difference, though, at all in just his personality and the way he carried himself in the locker room?
I still feel like he's the same. Still smirky, still confident, still himself.
One more question.
There was news that Ochoa's not coming back to LSU in 2022. Maybe we're not going to play all the game. What's your initial reaction to that?
This is my first time hearing, to be honest. Coach O is a great dude. He helped me out a lot, giving me an offer to come out there and play for him. And I hope, everything comes his way, works out, and he gets hired somewhere else and, continues his career.
All right, thanks, Jamar. Logan, you're up.
Thanks, man.
You're a Blue Jays fan? You're a Blue Jays fan?
No, I just like that.
Yeah, I mean, you always want to have a shutout on defense, but at the end of the day, we still came in with a win, and that's the most important thing.
Another day, another interception. Tell us about that play, you and Vaughn combined on it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I was right there. Vaughn Vaughn had him secured. I just tried to rip the ball out, and I got it out before he was considered down. So, and then I caught it. So I guess that's why it was an interception instead of a fumble and then a recovery.
Do you think Trey Hendricks this play has one of the best defensive ends in the NFL right now?
Yeah, I think his motor is what separates him. Truthfully, he plays so hard. He's relentless to the ball, and when you got a defensive end that has that skill set, what he has already, and then you combine it with a high motor, high effort guy, usually things are going to work out pretty well for him. So I'm very glad he's on our team.
Is the best defensive performance most complete this year? Is Pittsburgh, is it this one?
Shoot, I don't know. We'll have to. I mean, when we look at the tape, we'll see. But at the end of the day, we came in here and did what we were supposed to do. We knew they were better than what their record showed. They've been in pretty much every game that they played all year, and we needed to come in here and get a win. And now it's going to be on to Baltimore next week.
What did it say about this team that's very matched last year's win total?
Yeah, I mean, last year. It was a new year for us, and we knew within free agency and the draft and the guys we had coming back that there's going to be a lot of continuity, and I think it's carried over. I think we're just playing well in all three phases of the game. There's always something we can do better, and we'll look at this tape on Monday and learn from it, and then move on to Baltimore.
Is there one thing that you can point to specifically that indicates that y'all could potentially push for a division title by the end of the season?
What was that?
Is there anything that you can point to that indicates y'all could push for a division title by the end of the season?
I mean, I think we're just going to take it one game at a time, truthfully. That's what this league's about. It's hard to get wins, especially on the road, and to get a win today was big for us. And like I said, we got 2 more road games again, and we could play at Baltimore. They're a really good team, so we're just taking it 1 week at a time.
Speaking of Baltimore, I know you'll go and watch the film, but you played against him last year. What's the key to stopping or at least slowing down Lamar Jackson?
I mean, he's a running back that also plays quarterback. I think he's very dynamic. You just got to contain him as best you can. We'll get more into that game plan next week.
Zach said he wasn't surprised by his performance at all, that he could see it in you guys this week in practice, the focus and just the attention to detail. Do you ever get a sense of it? Do you ever get a feeling when a game like this is coming ahead of time?
Yeah. I mean, it's always important to bounce back after a loss. It was a game that we thought we should have won against the Packers, and we didn't. And so, at the end of the day, we came in here and we did what we needed to do, what we were supposed to do, what we planned on doing, and came away with a win. So.
See, Zach's got a great fondness for turnovers. If you keep getting the game ball when you get a turnover, I guess that kind of seep down, and does that mean anything, I guess?
To get a game ball?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think, at the end of the day, my biggest thing that I care about the most is whether or not we got the win. So, whether or not I get the game ball, that's the least of my worries.
When the offense is struggling in that first half, you as a defense figure that just keep making stops and eventually they're going to break out. Is that your attitude?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we just try to get off the field and get the ball back to our offense as much as we can. That's our mindset. We know we got guys capable of making plays on defense, and we got plenty of guys on offense that can make plays. So, like I said, we're just trying to get that ball back to our offense as many times as we can, whether that's getting off the field on third down or getting turnovers. So,
What does it take for you to be in a position to make as many turnovers as you have this season?
what does it take?
Yeah. Just preparation-wise, I guess, how are you so often in the right position?
I mean, I just pride myself on running to the ball, and sometimes, having a little luck is nice too. But, just when you have an opportunity to make a play on the ball, that's just kind of what I try to do. It doesn't always work out in your favor, but you just continue to do it, and sometimes things work out for you.
You a big fan of Rock?
Am I? Yeah.
And you guys want to see her?
Yeah, I do. Yeah. The way he balances his celebrity lifestyle with his work ethic is unmatched, truthfully. And he seems like a great human being. So I got a lot of his gear.
Well, as a guy whose job it is to keep guys out of the end zone as a defensive player, what do you look at and see if Jamar Chase is blocking this from Joe that touchdown?
I mean, that's the definition of this team, unselfishness. I mean, when we got guys that are doing that, and like our first-round pick, he's doing that. I mean, that says a lot about him as a player, and what we have as this team. You know, we're unselfish guys. We're just doing everything we can, and he sprung that block and helped Joe score. So that was big time.
All right, thanks, Logan.
Thank you.